Okay, we were sitting here playing on the computer, Coach Jowers. Well, I was actually trying to type in an address, and I got it. I found it. There it is, right there. Coach Jowers is with us from the soccer program. How you doing this morning?
Good.
How's your clinic going?
Yeah, so the camp's been...
Or the camp, yeah.
Yeah, the camp. We're taking our Wednesday off, and we're finishing strong on Thursday, but we went Monday, Tuesday, and I think we had about 250 kids.
Oh, my goodness.
From
you were telling me the other...
4-year-olds all the way to high school age.
Because you were
kids.
telling me the other day that at some of your grade levels were actually full.
Yeah, we had to cap it on it. And the reason we do that is because we like to keep the ratios somewhere between no more than 1 to 8, but a lot of them we had 1 to 6. That way there's always an interaction with a kid, with a player or a coach or something, so that everybody gets a good experience.
Yeah, so you've got one more day of the camp?
One more day of the camp, and so we'll finish that up tomorrow, and then move on to the 3v3.
Yeah.
But the camp's been really good, and it's been interesting to see. I had no idea there would be that many, because the first year we did this, or the second year we did this, we capped it at 40, and and this year it was at, I think, 80 or 90,
I think it was
80 or 90 or something like that.
Yeah.
And so,
well, that you've got real excited about that. You and then the other coaches thinking that this will hopefully. A lot of these kids will hopefully get into the the program.
It's funny that you say that, and it's funny that you say that because some of the coaches that have come back from college who played on the team helped out with like the mega sports camp that we used to do with the churches over at Zia, but they also used to help with the camp. And some of those coaches they're saying it's funny because some of the players that are coming into the high school program now, or the players that were in those camps, for instance, I can pick on Zane but Zane Bays is a good example of somebody who came up and now he's about to come into the high school program in the next year or two. And so it's just kind of neat to see that progression, and it's good for those older kids to be able to see those kids,
Yeah.
So.
Well, and you've told me this before, and we've talked about it off air. I mean, soccer tends to be a sport that at the younger ages is very, very popular. And then as the kids get older, they, football or volleyball or some of the other sports that take place. But there's plenty of kids in the community. So if they don't want to play football, they don't want to play volleyball, there's certainly room for them on the soccer teams. Maybe when they get a little older, they'll stay with soccer, right?
Right, hopefully so, and hopefully we have a nice place to play for them. I mean, we do have a nice place to play for them, so hopefully that all works out.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about your soccer tournament, and I've got the website pulled up, the Artesia Soccer Classic, and that's from 2017. Am I looking at the right place here, Coach?
Let's see.
I'll pull that up on the screen there. That can't be the right one.
No, if you go back to your Facebook, it might be on Facebook. I don't know if you...
Yeah, so that's the one that I found. But let me go to this, the Facebook page here.
I know the link's on the Facebook page, but yes. If you scroll down, there's a link on the first post.
Okay, right here. Some fun under the lights. And there is soccerexposureevents.com.
Yeah, there you go. So this is one way you can get into where you can register a team. Today's the deadline.
Okay.
So if you want to register a team, today's the deadline. And if you scroll down, it should.
This is like if I wanted to sign up for the.
This website is just the tool that we're using.
Okay.
And you can actually search for all the 3v3 tournaments. But
if not register, please, and then look for the 3v3. I'm trying not to make this hard.
Well, it is and it isn't. A lot of people are using their phones, and I can send them a link, and it'll send them right to where they want to go.
That's what I'm doing wrong. You're
using a computer. Where you went wrong. But today's the deadline.
Okay.
And if you don't want to go through the complicated route on the computer, you can come to the complex tonight between 7 and 9.
That'd be the easiest thing to do, right?
Yeah. And so, but if you want to, make it complicated, you can.
Now, when you say the complex, is this at?
Sorry, the Mac Chase.
At the Mac Chase. Okay.
Sorry, I always refer to it as complex just because it sounds kind of.
Well, they built the one out at J.C. Park too that has soccer fields and flag football. But I just want to make sure.
Yes. Sorry. So do not go to J.C. Park. Go to the Mac Chase Complex at 1101 Gilchrist.
Okay.
And so.
And that's where
Across from MLK Park, over there, that area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, that's great. Have you got a lot of teams signed up already for it? Or?
Yeah, we're getting to the point where almost all the divisions are full, if not having multiple, brackets or whatever. I don't know.
So how's 3-on-3 obvious, other than the obvious number of players?
Right.
How is 3-on-3 different than, say, a traditional soccer game?
Well, I may not be the best person to answer that question because growing up, I only played full field tournaments. And
right.
So 3v3s is relatively a new concept in probably the past 10, maybe 15 years. But the way it works is similar to soccer. It's just 3 players versus 3 players.
So each one has a goalie.
No goalies.
No goalies, okay.
No goalies, 3 versus 3, no goalies, smaller goals.
Mm-hmm.
There's usually a box, which is a point of confusion between tournaments because different tournaments use different rules, but there's usually a box in front of the goal, and if you step in front of the box, it's either a penalty kick or they give you a goal. So that way there's no goalie. But yeah, so 3 teams, box in front of the goal, you can't get in the box, and smaller fields.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and smaller times. I think it's like 10 or 12 usually, 10 or 12 minutes a half.
Right, instead of the 40 minutes or 30.
40 minutes, yes.
Yeah, whatever.
Or if you've been watching soccer, 45 minutes, like the rest of the world.
Rest of the
world. So.
Well, there's been a lot of excitement for soccer. I guess England and Italy had and I was kind of laughing because I guess after England got beat, there were some nasty things said about some of the players, which shouldn't have been said.
Crazy.
But then the people with the soccer team like, well, these people need to be treated like heroes. And I'm thinking, they lost.
Hey, but you don't understand English soccer. I mean, I grew up with a childhood friend who lived in England and stuff like that, and it is definitely their religion.
Yeah.
I mean, they take it very, very serious. So
yeah. Well, I can understand.
But the Italians do too. But.
Well, and there's some excitement in the States now. You were telling me that there's a team in Albuquerque now that is getting a lot of attention.
The United.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, the New Mexico United, like I said, they're moving with some pretty good steam. So.
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting to see where this is all going to... so when is the 3v3 tournament now? Is that...
So the 3v3 tournament will be on... Saturday.
Okay.
This coming Saturday.
All right.
Let me pull out my flyer.
Yeah, I'm going to do the same thing.
So it'll be on Saturday the 17th at the complex, Mac Chase Complex, 11. It says 1200 West Gilchrist, but I promise you on the post outside it says 1101. Anyway, and then if you want to get a hold of anybody to do it in person, or you can either call me or my booster president, and that number on that flyer is her number, and it's 575-513-9025.
Okay.
And I said I wouldn't do this, but I'll put my number as well.
Well, it's up to you.
And my number would be 575-693-2631.
And you have different age groups then, different categories based on age, or is it just...
Yeah, so there's going to be different ages starting from 4-year-olds all the way up to adults.
Okay.
We actually have quite a few adult teams. It's crazy sometimes how many adults want to come back. Some people asked me if I wanted to play, and I said, have you tried to run a tournament?
You're kind of busy.
I was like, I would love to go play. It's just, it's not exactly feasible for that time frame. But yeah, there's a lot of... It's interesting to see. And so,
are there trophies, prize money?
Yeah, so there's going to be some new fancy medals that we got with that logo for the 3v3 Classic.
Mm-hmm.
And so I know a lot of people are excited about that. And
well, I like the logos. I don't know how long you've been using those, but I saw the emblem up on the press box, the new press box at the soccer field at the high school.
Oh yes.
And that's pretty nice. Did you design that or? Yeah,
so the crest, like what I have here, is something that I came up whenever me and Coach Wiles, when Coach Wiles was the head coach and I was helping him. He wanted to do something, and I have a background in Photoshop, so I kind of helped him come up with something. And what we're actually going to do this year, which is kind of a cool thing, like I noticed, where was it? I think it was right outside your door here. You have like the KSV, or no, it's outside the window, this little deal with the banner. We're getting something similar to that with all of our logos. So it'll be the crest and it'll say Artesia Soccer. And then we have another one that has a bulldog and says AFC, which would be Artesia Football Club, which I know that's confusing, but it's a soccer thing. So,
right.
But we'll have a big banner like that, kind of like a press conference after a game where you can take your picture with your team.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it should be really cool. I know a lot of people like that at the different tournaments whenever you have a backdrop to take a picture with your team.
Yeah.
And so.
Well, that's what we got that backdrop for, was for something we were doing a couple of years ago. And then I haven't got these windows tinted yet. I needed something to so I put the pegboard there. And then I thought, well, that pegboard looks terrible from the outside. And so I unrolled that sign and hung it up out there.
Well, when I was driving up, I saw it, and I was like, "Oh, that's going to be like ours."
Yeah, that's pretty good. But it's not too late for teams to sign up. They need to go and sign up by today, though.
We'll shut everything down by midnight tonight, and it's always stressful because everybody wants to wait until the last minute. And so, like I said, if you have a sponsored check or something like that, we're not doing personal checks, but we can do sponsored checks in person or cash, or you can use the website and get on Facebook and follow the link and pay through the internet. And but today from 7 to 9 at the complex, or you can reach out to me or my booster president.
What is a team? What does it cost to get
$250.
$250 gets you in. Okay.
Yeah, because if you'd have done it a week ago, it would have been $225.
Oh,
so
yeah. $25.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems like people don't care about the $25. I can tell you that much.
Well, somebody should care about the $25.
I know, right? It adds up after a while. So.
You were supposed to get that turned in. You're paying the $25.
But yeah, no.
Get that done. And then is it all day? I mean,
it'll start around anywhere between 4 and 5 on Saturday evening.
Okay.
And then we're going to do it under the lights. We're going to have a bunch of light plants that'll be donated by KCLT. And Casey Sales with Glenn Kaiser and Mike Calloway and them, and then also by Sunbelt is going to provide the lights. And we got JP Hudson with SC Services donating a bunch of the cooling trailers. We got a lot of local guys that have really backed us in this tournament and helped us out with some of the logistics stuff.
Yeah. So do you have multiple things going on the soccer field at the same time?
Right. So we're going to have on the front patch of grass. If you've been out to the Mac Chase complex, there's that front patch of grass just to the east of the softball fields. That's where we're going to have all the, for the most part, the younger divisions.
Okay.
And then on the back lower field, just to the north of the tennis courts, the lower field, we're going to have the older divisions and the adults.
Okay.
So one of the things, I've been to a lot of tournaments lately with my daughter and son, and we went to one in Lubbock at LCU, and the fields were so packed, so tight. We're trying to eliminate putting those fields so close because you see a lot of people getting hurt, like older people and parents that are walking between fields, and you're walking between where two people are shooting.
Right.
And we witnessed, and it even happened in Roswell, I guess, a couple weeks ago when we were at a tournament.
Yeah.
I mean, you feel bad, the lady just gets smacked in the head.
Yeah, you're just sitting there watching a game on this field over here, and then something behind you or in another field.
Yeah, like I said, they're walking between there, and they're not paying attention, and all of a sudden a ball hits you in the head. And so we're trying to eliminate that because I've seen that happen more than I like to admit.
Yeah, so you encourage people to come out and watch and
watch for sure.
Friends or kids
fun.
Or whatever.
It's funny because the lower divisions, like the little 4-year-olds, there's always like a ton of people around the littles, and then you have maybe 2 or 3 people over at the older kids and the adults, and so it's fun to see all that.
Well, maybe you'll get them up there. Are you going to have any food trucks out there or concessions?
I wish we could, but just being a school complex, it's hard to have a food truck. But we will have a concession with prepackaged stuff. We're coming out of COVID, so we're easing out of it.
I understand.
And so we'll have that and waters and Gatorades and all that good stuff.
Okay.
And candy. Plenty of candy.
Folks may sneak some stuff in then.
Hey, I don't have a problem with that. As long as you throw it away. Throw your trash away.
In a trash receptacle.
You can bring in whatever you want. Just throw the trash away.
Yeah, so because you guys don't need to be cleaning that up.
Well, we will be whether we like it or not.
Well, that's great. So if you've got a team, need to get signed up by today, and you'll be out at the soccer complex today.
Yes,
so
from 7 to 9 tonight.
Want to come out and sign up, and then Saturday starting around 5.
Yeah, between 4 and 5 we'll start.
Yeah,
and run all the way until we finish. So hopefully it doesn't run into Sunday morning early, but
it could.
But it could, and if we need to, we will. But
well, that's really exciting, and I know you're glad to have the tournament again because you didn't get. I mean, nobody got to do anything last year, and so this year we're starting to get back to normal again, and all that good stuff. So.
Yeah, it's definitely exciting, and so
yeah. Well, good deal. And, of course, you've got high school soccer. I mean, you just finished. And that's what's so weird about this year is that soccer just finished back in, April?
Yeah, it's one big, long season.
One big, long season. So now you resume the high school coming up this fall. How are things looking for the high school teams
It's looking good. One thing that I've noticed is that I put a lot of emphasis on the youth, and this will be starting my seventh season as a head coach, and I'm starting to see the return of putting time in with the youth.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've consistently had at least 20 to 25 boys coming out to practice, which is a good number for us.
Mm-hmm.
But looking forward to the season, we should do fairly well.
Good.
And when I say fairly well, we've been on the edge of that state tournament.
Just this close,
year. And so hopefully this year is when we break through. And then we would have been there this year had it not been COVID.
Yeah.
But they only took 8 teams, and we were 9.
Yeah.
So I'm like, and then the year before that, they take 12, and we were 13. So I'm like, hopefully this year is the year.
You got to get to 8. Then you're in, because if they do an 8 team or a 10 team or a 12 team, 8 is in.
Our goal is 1.
Well, of course.
Right. So we want to be 1.
Yeah.
And if not 1 through 4, so we can play at home. So.
Well, of course, yeah. Then you get the top seed.
Because I think that's what they're going to start doing. They're talking about it up at Albuquerque about making that first and second round possibly home sites, which is I like that idea because I think it's similar to like what they do with football, where you get to play around your home fans more, and it should be an advantage. If you get seated higher, you should be able to.
Well, it's kind of a nice reward for doing that. Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting to see because there's a lot of things that we did differently. I say we, everybody,
right?
Because of COVID. Well, we've never done that before. Why are we doing that? Well, we have to do it because of COVID, and then you run a tournament that way.
Right.
It needs to be more teams get into it. They can't really limit it to 8. That's just
right.
That's a little too.
Well, that was only for COVID.
Only for COVID. But if they go back to 12 or 16 and they say, all right,
I'd love it if they went to 16. But I'm telling you right now, it'll be 12.
It'll be 12.
A while, but yeah.
So you'll have the lower seeds will play that first round, and then
and there's 32 teams in our 4A classification. So so you figure 12 is pretty close to half of the class.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty good. Of course, if you win your district,
that's the goal.
Then you're in.
That's always the goal, isn't it?
District champ. That's right.
Yeah.
Well, how exciting! When's your first game? I know I got the schedules, but do you remember when your first?
Yeah, I do actually. Our first game. We actually have 2 games in a row, and I have the schedule, or at least I have a rough draft of the schedule.
Yeah. It's in my notebook in the back, so I don't have it.
I got it right. I say I have it right here. I know I have to. I'll tell you this much, and I'll give a shout out to Coach Henderson, because Coach Cooper Henderson and Diana Neal, she's going to be not there. She just retired this year, but those two and Miss Neal, Coach Henderson and Miss Neal, do a lot. And one of the things is the schedule.
I found it.
Oh, did you? I'm pretty sure it's the 12th.
You have August 20th.
20th, okay.
You're playing Moriarty on Friday. Here
and Berlin on Saturday.
And turn around on Saturday with Berlin. So it's JV and varsity 3 and 5 on Friday, and then Berlin JV and varsity 1 and 2:30 on Saturday. So
yes, and the times could change, but the dates should stay the same.
Dates should stay the same, and it looks like they're bringing tournaments back. You're going to be in the Los Alamos tournament. maybe.
When you say bringing tournaments back, it's a matter of trying to get into a tournament. You know
Is
what
that
I mean?
right?
So it's not as easy as you think to get into a tournament. And the reason we never played, at least the reason the boys have never played in the Roswell tournament is it tends to be a bunch of local teams, and I don't want to play Goddard and Lovington and Portales 3 times in a season.
Yeah.
So.
So you try to find somebody.
So we try to find somebody out of our district where.
So
we
it looks
go.
like you got into
the Los Alamos
tournament. So
yeah.
Well, good.
Yeah, so that's exciting for us.
So take on the Hilltoppers.
Hopefully we'll get matched up against them. I know that Goddard's going, and I know that that Lovington is probably going to go, and so I've told the coach, don't put us in the same pool, please. If we end up there in a final, that's fine.
That's fine, but not off the bat.
Not right off the bat, please.
Yeah, that would be great. And by the way, same thing at the NMAA.
Yeah, that too.
And I think they try not to put teams from the same district in the same.
No,
thing.
Sally does a great job up there.
It gets to be a challenge. Coach, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Hope folks sign up for the Classic, and I hope you have a nice crowd out Saturday night to watch it.
Should be cooler.
A lot of fun. Oh, yeah, it'll be great.
So.
All right, Coach Phillip Jowers, we're going to take a break and find Mel and see how the markets are doing. That's next.